What's going on, guys? My name is D. Anthony with Evolution Traders. In this video, I want to show you guys how you can use the 2-minute time frame, scalp the NASDAQ futures, or scalp ES, scalp YM, RTY, whatever instrument that you want to trade. But for me, I trade the NASDAQ, so I'm going to look at the NASDAQ chart. I'm going to show you guys how to use the 2-minute time frame, how to use VWAP, as well as a 20-period moving average, which 20 simple moving average. So this is how I personally would trade it. This is how I would use it to give me confluence. Now, a lot of you guys already know that I use and incorporate the 20 SMA in a lot of my trading strategies. But for some of you guys who may be new, who maybe not have seen my channel, maybe you guys have been using or tinkering with learning the VWAP, this is how I personally would use it to help you kind of avoid getting chopped up, how to stay on the right side of the trend, and how to hold your positions maybe a little bit longer with a trailing stop. Okay, so the white line that you see on my screen, that's the 20 SMA. Okay, very, very simple. A simple moving average. It's not the smooth moving average, it's not the exponential moving average, it's the 20 simple moving average. Okay, the green line that you see is the VWAP. Okay, now the little black line on the upper and the black line on the lower is just the upper and lower ranges of the VWAP. Pretty simple, right? So this is how I personally would use it. What we're going to look at is yesterday's price action. So that is July the 3rd. This is July 3rd chart if you guys want to follow along. But essentially the first 2-minute candle off the bell closes over the 20 SMA and VWAP. So typically speaking, if we're trading over VWAP, is price action a little bit more bullish or is it bearish, right? Take a second to kind of answer that in your head. You guys, if you have any type of, just general basic knowledge on VWAP and trading and supply and demand, you guys should know that if we're trading over the VWAP, we're typically more bullish, okay? So what we can do is use VWAP for extra confluence in finding these setups. So for me, once we close over this 20-period moving average, I'm looking for a following candle to confirm the high of that candle that closed over the 20 SMA. Now, a lot of times traders will jump into a specific play like this, see this pullback for 2, 4, 6 minutes, get scared, get panicked, start complaining on social media that the market is chopping, but realistically, all we're doing is back testing support here at VWAP. So if VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, you have to assume that they're taking a large number of buyers and sellers and they're getting a mathematical equation for around the average price of where a lot of people are sitting. So if a lot of people are sitting over VWAP, okay, then anytime we come into VWAP and kind of test and we're wicking around, as long as we're not losing it, closing below it and building below it, this is a good buying opportunity. So depending on the prop firm that you trade with, let's say you get into a position here over the confirmation of VWAP in the 20 SMA and it starts to pull back on you, hint, hint, you can do this with Top Step and we pull back into VWAP. This is a good loading opportunity to kind of lower that dollar cost average, okay? Now, if you're on another firm where they don't really like you to dollar cost average, or you're only allowed to dollar cost average once, that firm is also listed in the description box below, then maybe we can add one time here or not, but just have the confidence that as long as we're trading over VWAP and as long as we're trading over this 20 SMA, we can hold this position. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of a scalp, where you necessarily don't like to hold positions for a long time, then you can throw the upper and lower channels on the VWAP, the bands, and you can sell for profits into the upper channel. You can sell for profits into the lower channel, okay? So if we're entering at a price of around 20,259, then we can sell upwards of a price of 20,275. So we're talking about essentially, 15, 20 points here, right? So in that particular scenario, when we're looking at selling for 15, 20 points, you have a good gauge, right? You have a good opportunity to kind of get out for profits. Now, Here's how we can use the VWAP to kind of expand those profits. Now, this is going to take a specific type of trader, because I know a lot of you guys who trade futures, a lot of you guys who are newer to day trading period, you guys really don't like to hold positions through drawdown, through ups and downs, and you get nervous and panicked. But each time that we came down and tested, wicked below VWAP, we never closed. Okay, we tested but never closed below. We tested but never closed below. We tested but never closed below. These are all multiple future buying opportunities to bounce. Come down to VWAP, start a new position, bounce. Come down to VWAP, start a new position, hold, bounce. Use the previous wick as a stop. Come down to VWAP, hold, bounce. Use the previous low point as a stop. But if you're still in this original position here, you can definitely hold this. And as long as the VWAP is trending higher, as long as your 20 SMA is trending higher, you can hold this trade. Now, it did take over about an hour to an hour and a half before price action really started to break away. But you can see once we started to really break away from the VWAP, this last bounce here at 7:36 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, that was it. Okay, because each back test now was so far above VWAP that the 20 SMA was acting as our trailing stop. Okay, it was acting as a trailing stop. So essentially what you could do is, as long as we've broken away from VWAP, and as long as the 20 SMA starts to hold a little bit higher to the price action, and we create a little bit of a gap. Now, this here is not a gap. This is not really a gap. We're pretty flat. It's kind of just going sideways at this period of time. This is clearly trending higher. So this 20 SMA is clearly trending higher. Okay. The VWAP is also trending higher, but it's a gap. It's a gap, right? A gap. You can use the 20 SMA as a trailing stop. So if we do close below the 20 SMA, maybe you can use that as an indication to get out of the trade. And in that theory, 20,258 to when we closed below the VWAP of 20,331, guys, we're talking about almost 75 points worth of run up that you would have been able to capture. Now, you could have also started a new position here once we got back over the 20 SMA. And one thing that I do want to point out is that a lot of times when traders see price action start to get extended, they're quick to short. They're quick to short. But in all reality, the price and the chart and the technicals are telling you that this is a uptrend. So instead of looking to find the short for a quick scalp, look for the pullback and look for the bounce off of support. Look for the pullback and look for the bounce off support. This is how you can use VWAP to pass prop firm evaluations extremely quickly. And I'm talking about just a few days. And how we can do that is by putting on a little bit more size than we're used to. So if you're used to trading micro contracts, we're going to want to trade one micro contract. If you're already trading one lot, we're going to bump that up to even 3 lots. And we're going to hold these positions as long as VWAP and the 20 SMA are telling us to. Now, if we were to lose VWAP and lose the 20 SMA collectively, and then close below VWAP, and then we have a following candle that starts to build below, then yes, I'm not looking to buy the bounce anymore. What I'm looking to do is short the rejection of VWAP and the 20 SMA. Now, I don't use VWAP a lot on an everyday basis, but I do look at it from time to time for confluence. Now, again, if you're already kind of familiar with VWAP, maybe you can incorporate using this 20 SMA alongside of it. Maybe if you're purely and solely using the 20 SMA, maybe you can add VWAP to your screens to give you that little bit more extra confluence. Because think about this. If you were simply following the 20 SMA strategy, well, then you would have been into this short position here and then rudely been stopped out. But if you had the VWAP on your screen, you would have seen that we had firm support here. And as long as we don't close below VWAP, we should still not be trying to short the market. Here, you would have, taken a quick 5 points on the scalp, but why not just wait for the next bounce opportunity was here at 736 and kind of avoid the headache and stress of this potential play here that could have turned into a loser. right? In this particular situation, maybe you went long, but then got stopped out because of fear, because of too much size on the table. Well, then if you had the VWAP on your screen, you could see that we were clearly holding this level. So hopefully this helps some of you guys. Hopefully it helps you get through and pass some prop firm evaluations later. If you guys want to trade with me and you're going to want to learn more strategies and more tools that you can add to your belt, join me in my room in the community. You get access to the video lessons, access to the community, access to a great group of guys. That link's down in the description box. If you would like to trade with Apex or Top Step, you can definitely find those links down in my description box as well.